Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Real Heroes Show. You got Cory and Nick here with you as always, and today we are doing a very spoilerific review of episode 3 of Marvel Studios Loki, which was entitled Lamentis, which is now streaming on Disney+. If you have not seen this episode or the prior two for the series, please go check them out first, then come back and see us. You have been warned. Nick,
yes,
I'm extremely tired, and I'm probably not going to be a great host today, so how are you?
I'm doing rather well.
Yeah.
I'm a little excited after this episode. Some interesting points here.
Yeah, I think for us to start out, you can take a little bit of a victory lap.
I can. We were right about something in our predictions.
There's a first time for everything, ladies and gentlemen.
In a Marvel show prediction, yes, it wasn't X-Men, it wasn't the mutants, it wasn't Mephisto, it was Sylvie, the Enchantress.
Yes, it wasn't Luke Skywalker that showed up.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, Luke didn't show up. Boba Fett did not reappear. No.
Yeah, so Sophia DiMartino's character, the way they talk about it in the episode, it almost kind of seems like she was a Loki variant at the start and then kind of changed her tune on it because she doesn't like being called a Loki. Yeah. She says, I'm Sylvie now, and they talk about her doing her enchanting, which is pretty much a direct reference to the Enchantress character. So a little bit of Marvel Studios blending of stuff to make it fit into their canon, which I thought was cool. But man, holy shit, the chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, dynamite. Really good. Yeah.
I don't know. This is not to say anything bad about Sophia or her performance, because I thought she was electric in this episode. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that Hiddleston could have chemistry with like a plastic bag, and people would want to watch it, man. You want to talk about a dude who's just like putting it all out there, and you can tell he's having a super fun time being the lead of his own show and everything.
Yeah, I'd say it's very evident at this point. You can tell he's fully engulfed in Loki and the show, and again, that's a great thing to see. It's sort of, honestly, it's like some of the original Wave 1 Avengers, right, with RDJ being Tony Stark, Iron Man, Evans being Cap, Hemsworth being Thor. Maybe not so much about Banner, but I mean,
there have been like 3 Hulks in the last 15 years.
Yeah,
so
it's a little bit, it's a little difficult, because he's not gonna transform into the Hulk, walking around here. But for the rest of them, I mean, they literally fully embodied like the characters, and but with Loki and Tom Hiddleston, he's just having a blast with this show. You can tell just, I think, by the performance that he's given us through 3 episodes, the interactions that he has with his work partners, friends from work. He's he's like Owen Wilson, Sophie, like they're just, it's like you said, it's a great connection that they have. And I mean, sure, I bet Tom could have a starred role in an epic performance with a mannequin at this point. He'd find a way to make it work.
Yep.
But
then he could stand up above him and say, "It's over, mannequin. I have the high ground."
Well done. I am your god, man.
I have a meme saved on my phone that says that, and it's 2 mannequins on a flight of stairs together. Anyway. Star Wars bad, but this episode went very sci-fi, so
it did.
We have a little bit of a connection there. So man, that chemistry though was terrific.
Yes.
It felt like a everything you can do I can do better type situation from both of them, which I thought was great. Sylvie gives the little dig like, you're this god and you just went and worked for the boring oppressive time police, like good for you or whatever. And they trade off with their daggers and their knives and their magic and all that back and forth. And I don't know if I was just like sleep drunk from waking up at 6:30 in the morning to watch the episode, but it almost felt like a little bit like a sci-fi rom-com.
A little bit
between the two of them,
a little bit,
which at first I was like, man, that's kind of weird, but then I also thought, if there's anybody that Loki would fall in love with, it would be
himself.
a version of himself.
Absolutely.
So it worked for me. I thought, all the stuff when they were on the train talking about
love,
their history and love, and maybe not so much like romantic love, but more like platonic love for his mom. Like Loki really loves Frigga, and
absolutely,
you can see it in Hiddleston's eyes when he gives the performance that there aren't many people, gods, creatures in this universe that he truly deeply cares for, but you can tell that she's one of them. And the fact that this version of Loki found out that she died through like a projector at the TVA, it kind of tears him apart a little bit, because he has to constantly keep saying, well, she was, or she had, or use past tense terms or whatever. So I thought that stuff was all really great, and not at all what I thought this episode was going to be. I thought we were going to dive right into the sacred timeline getting bombed, and then Michael Waldron and his crew were like, psych, we're going on this wild sci-fi side quest. So speaking of that side quest, Lamentis, you told me a little bit about this planet before we got on this recording, but if you would love to share with our audience some of your findings on this really interesting planet that we went to.
Yeah, it's of course I want to see what's referenced from the good old comics, where all this is sort of taking ties from. It's only mentioned once in the Marvel comics, from the outer world of Kree-controlled space. Sorry,
right.
And again, we've seen Kree from Captain Marvel,
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Guardians. So. I don't know if this is, I wasn't really expecting them to make any sort of appearance in here. I doubt we'll see any Kree in this series. But as far as what happens in this comic, it's the Annihilation Conquest prologue number 1, and we've got the Annihilation Wave, which comes from Annihilus, aka Kang the Conqueror. We already know Kang's coming.
Yep.
You mentioned it before we spoke. There's a lot of color palette, little Easter eggs from Kang with the purple and green in this episode. So again, I think Kevin Feige, Michael Waldron are sort of kind of sprinkling that on top of this episode, and the direction and the reasoning of going with Lamentis, because it's sort of like they could have escaped to anywhere. But they just so happened to go to Lamentis 1, and which I think Sylvie mentions this is the worst apocalyptic event
on the
list, which is pretty interesting to think about, because if there's potentially infinite or a rather large number of apocalyptic events, through various timelines on top of that, right? This is the worst one. Which the moon just explodes with itself,
it's basically disintegrating into large chunks and then falling onto the planet and crushing people, which is pretty bad. But so that's all very interesting, and it might not bear fruit in this series, right? We may see Kang, we may not, who knows. I feel like there's still a pretty good chance that you might get like a little bit of foreshadowing to him, or you might see his face once or something. But just to sneakily put something in there, and put in a planet that has a connection to him, and then make that planet's color palette the 3 main colors that you see like of Kang in the comics, is pretty slick. And
I think it's intentional for sure. It's definitely intentional. It's
also interesting, we're in the year 2077, which, as far as I know, this is the farthest into the future we've seen in the MCU. So I think the end of Endgame was in 2023.
Yes.
And then Spider-Man Far From Home should be 2024, based on how the timeline goes. So we hit 2048, I think, or 2050.
2049.
In the prior episode. And then we went to 2077 here. So it's pretty cool to kind of get a glimpse of where it's not Earth, so it's not where we live, but it's parts of the universe that we get to see. I think things are just as bad then as they are now.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I was wondering how far we'd actually see them go in the show,
right?
And how many different timelines we'd see. And I think that was one of the things we thought initially was it would be jumping all over the place, especially with something like the name of TVA.
Mm-hmm.
But we really haven't seen much as far as the hurricane event in 2050 in Oklahoma, right? And then 2077 now. So I think one of the interesting things about this show, again, what we've seen, we learned something else straight from the beginning, was Sylvie using her enchantment powers on Hunter C-20.
Yeah.
And finding out from herself to Loki that she was from Earth.
Yeah.
Recruited from Earth.
Yep.
And Loki's like, wait. I was told that they were born from the timekeepers themselves into the TVA.
Right.
Which makes me wonder about Agent Mobius and his love for jet skis.
I was gonna say, we need the flashback of Owen Wilson in like some rad bathing suit from the 90s riding a jet ski before he gets plunked out of his normal life because of a Nexus event. He stepped on a piece of bubble gum and it caused the universe to shift or something, and now he's stuck working this desk job in a dimly, warmly lit building. I don't know. It
makes me wonder how long they've also been there as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Owen Wilson says time passes differently in the TVA, which means that his variant could have gotten picked up from the 1990s. He might have been reading that jet ski magazine when he got picked up, and that might be like the only relic of his old life that he's got left.
And he may, I wonder if I think he remembers it because it's just like Hunter C-20, she loves margaritas.
Yep.
That's why she goes there, in her mind.
Yep.
And she keeps saying, it's real. Well, of course it's real because you actually experienced that place before. You lived it. So, and again, I think a lot of points from Sylvie herself and saying, don't call me Loki. And it's again, like the details are there even more with her just being, Enchantress.
Mm-hmm.
She, in the comics, like I mentioned in the last video, she kind of aspired to be an Asgardian.
Right.
And she's not the superior Loki in this event. She tried to use her enchantment powers on Loki, and it wouldn't work because his mind is too strong-willed. At this point, he was right as far as being the superior Loki. But even when they're having the conversation on the train, and he's like, "Oh my God, you were adopted as well? Like what happened to your mother?" And she doesn't say anything because it's like, well, yeah, there's more to her than what we know. And I kind of wonder if they're gonna go in a different route with her in this show with the 3 episodes we have remaining.
I can't believe it's only 3 left. We're
do,
halfway. It's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks. It's great, but it sucks. I wanna say we're gonna have a flashback with her though, because again, I think we got some hints from Loki saying, I've told you a lot about myself. I don't really know much about you.
Yeah.
And she's, again, more reluctant, but I think because of maybe the trust that they have, maybe she opens up to him a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what your thoughts are. And of course, it's one of the things where you in a show or in a movie, the show must go on because we're on episode 3. There are 6 episodes. They're not going to die on Lamentus 1 because otherwise, what's going to happen to the show? They have to live on. Now that the Ark was also destroyed, I was thinking, oh yeah, you know what? They could escape on the Ark. Just kidding again, because the moon just destroyed that plan.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Mobius comes to the rescue, rather the TVA comes to the rescue, figures out where they went, and at that point they get rescued. Unless there's some completely other, a miracle in this sense for them that rescues them, and they get taken off of that planet.
Yeah.
Again, who knows what Michael Waldron has cooked up, and if approved by Kevin Feige, of course, to have them saved and going back to the TVA. But I think we're gonna go back to the sacred timeline being bombed next episode.
It's got to be sooner than later.
Yeah. So
there's only 3 hours left.
I think there's going to be a little bit of a flashback with her, with Sylvie.
Okay. Yeah. I think there's a good chance you see a flashback. You know, because they love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I also think in regards to who could save them, I think it's not going to be the proper TVA. If it is, it's going to be Mobius, because Mobius has a vested interest in both of them, and the regular TVA is after both of them. We saw Renslayer and her goons. They were going after Sylvie pretty hard.
They want her dead,
at
so
the beginning of the episode. So I don't think they're going to go after them and try to save them per se. Mobius might, because he kind of seems like a rogue agent to a degree there. So we'll see. I don't think they're going to be stranded there for long, or do I think they will perish there? I do think, however, and this is kind of like, this is where I'll end my part of today's episode. This is my theory that is probably wrong. Since we got something right last week, I have to balance us back out.
There's something
probably wrong. I think the main antagonist of this show is going to end up being Miss Minutes, the little cartoon.
Interesting.
Because if you think about it, you saw her in the first episode. She's a little cartoon infomercial type thing for the TVA and its history. But then in the second episode, she's like bouncing around on Loki's desk. And he's like, "Are you AI? Are you sentient? What are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know, sugar." And it's just like, they just kind of like hand wave it away. I think the whole timekeepers thing is gonna be like a red herring type thing, and that the timekeepers probably don't exist, and that this evil little cartoon is pulling all the strings.
Interesting. So
that's my theory. I'm sticking to it, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care.
I'll throw something else out there, and anyone watching can, see what you think. I wonder if we'll actually get to see the timekeepers.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think they're real.
I think they were real. I don't know if they're alive, or if they are. What's the point of them showing themselves? Because again, Renslayer says they're watching this closely, and I wonder if they're seeing things and realizing that this Loki, this variant of Loki, has a more important role to play. And again, I think that would, I guess, bode well for Tom Hiddleston, because maybe this Loki gets inserted into the MCU, the sacred timeline, and then it
gets to stick around
and gets reinserted, even though, if Thor from the sacred timeline sees him again, might shit his pants and go, "I saw you die when Thanos
I cried for you. I mourned for you.
I mourned for you, Loki."
The fourth time he's mourned for him.
You said no more tricks, Loki.
Thanos said no resurrections this time.
Yeah, he snapped your neck, and then the ship blew up. Your dead corpse was floating through space, cold.
The end of Love and Thunder is just Loki shows up, and he's like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah, it's Thunder from Thor, but realizing that he found
the love is from Loki.
Loki, yeah.
I love it, man. All right, so we're halfway through the show.
Yep.
I would ask you at this point, what would you give this episode by itself out of 10? And then how would you rank the series so far now that we're halfway through it?
I'm going to give this one, I might use the same answer for both. I might give this one 8.5.
Okay.
And I'd say at least the series is an 8.5 thus far. I think there's, with half a season, aka 3 episodes left remaining, there's still room and potential to, in my book, hit that like 9 out of 10 mark to be like the best Marvel show we've gotten so far.
Okay.
I don't believe we've seen the best of this show yet as far as story goes. I think, again, the chemistry, acting, all that stuff is there, and it's going to continue.
Right.
But I think that what everyone wants to see, everyone wants to know is what's happening with the story, what's happening with the characters themselves,
Sure.
how do their timelines actually play out in all of this? What happens to the TVA? What happens if the TVA gets blown up?
Yeah.
And destroyed? You know, does that actually create the multiverse of madness?
Who knows?
I could have just figured it out right there. I might be right. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
We'll find out. Michael Wadron, if you're watching this, send us an email and let us know. We'll sign an NDA. If
RealHeroesPodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. Or I'm completely wrong, and then you could be like, comment on this video. Nick was wrong.
Nick was wrong.
Period.
We're all wrong again.
And I will give you a thumbs up and heart your comment.
Yeah. I would say for me, solid 8 for this episode. I very much enjoyed the character development.
Yeah.
I don't know if I needed the whole side quest thing. Part of me wanted to stay on the rails a little bit more and just dive right back into the TVA, but I trust in Feige. I trust in the process. I would say probably an 8.5 for the series so far. And what the final score at the end of the 6th episode will be, to me, is fully dependent on how much this one tees up everything for Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange 2, and Ant-Man 3. But I think there's a good chance the TVA might be in the quantum realm. It might be like that little city that they flew by in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't know. We'll find out about that. But if this one ends and just leaves the entire MCU in utter chaos for Doctor Strange to clean up, then it will like skyrocket to like a high 9 or maybe a 10 for me. Because I do really want these shows to fully connect to the movies. And while WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier were great and they provided terrific character development and they elevated other characters to higher places in the hierarchy of Marvel, the events of WandaVision took place in a bubble. The events of Falcon and Winter Soldier, literally, right? Falcon and Winter Soldier, it didn't have grand scale stakes like a Marvel movie does. I'm really hoping that this one is the precursor to just the complete insanity that Sam Raimi is cooking up for Multiverse of Madness. So 8 for the episode, 8.5 for the series so far. Very much looking forward to where it all goes from here, and I hope it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Also, hello Siri. Hopefully it also ends with Owen Wilson on a jet ski, which will propel it to an 11 out of 10 for my ranking. But
one of the big asks.
Cool. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate everybody who's been tuning in lately. If you have any thoughts on this series or this episode, please drop us a comment below and let us know. And if you'd like to support the channel, click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss any future videos from us. So till next time, we will see you guys in the next video.
Peace.